And we are live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to a new episode of Blockchain Talk. Now, today's episode, technically Blockchain Talk, I do a little overview on the important headlines that occur in the world of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. However, this episode, I was doubting a little bit about, where I would put it. By reason, the subject at hand, Civkit, might be a better fit for my live stream series of the crypto bull. However, in itself, it's not really a cryptocurrency project. And for that reason, I decided to do it here on Blockchain Talk. Now, naturally, plenty of things are currently moving in the world of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. However, I didn't feel like really covering it. A little bit of a special period for me here. As you guys have noticed, I am currently quite irregular with my viewings and my live streams by reason I'm slowly becoming a dad. My wife is due one of these days, and doing all in preparation for it. Anyway, in today's episode, I want to talk a little bit about Civkit, what it is, what it stands for, how it's built up, etc., etc. And perhaps afterwards, depending on how much time I have after covering it in depth, perhaps I can cover a few news items and talk a little bit about the market. Now, before I start, where it concerns Civkit, this is an episode specially dedicated towards building on Bitcoin. While I still am crypto orientated in the sense of educational purposes, I'm going to try to make my content more Bitcoin focused. By reason, a lot of innovation and technical details concerning Bitcoin exist, and quite a few new innovations are occurring, and people need to be updated on that part. Myself, I became affiliated with Decentraltech quite recently. That's a seller, I'm going to say wholesaler of open source Bitcoin mining gear and mining gear in general. There's Civkit that I'm going to talk about today, which is a peer-to-peer marketplace, decentralized marketplace. So quite a lot of stuff. There's things like Nostr, Lightning Network. Quite a lot of builds on Bitcoin that not everyone is up to date with. And in today's episode, we're going to delve deeper into it. Let's start. So this is Civkit, what you guys are seeing on screen. This is their official website made on github.io. And basically, this is the descriptor, a peer-to-peer electronic free market. The Civkit or Civilization Kit is a blueprint to build their own censorship-resistant and permissionless global marketplace onto the design of Nostr and the architecture of Lightning Network. The framework prioritizes privacy and security through escrowed trades, moderations, and know your peer oracles. Civkit can be made and expanded to support any kind of trading. So, in very short words, peer-to-peer electronic free market. The little Bitcoin logo is a little giveaway, as well as architecture of Nostr and the Lightning Network. So we know that this peer-to-peer electronic free market is going to be Bitcoin based. Now, what do you guys need to know about Civkit and naturally the people or person more correctly behind it? You need to know Civkit has been made is made by none other than Ray Youssef, former CEO of Paxful. And Civkit is a result of, quite a few lessons he learned during his tenure as CEO of Paxful, whereby, the issue of free market trading and peer-to-peer market trading popped up on a regular basis. Now, people who follow Ray Youssef on Twitter will know that he frequently talks about the global south. With that, that's actually a topic I want to indulge in, and in a certain part in the past I have talked about, has to do with what we in the West call third world countries being united and forming a strong economic financial front. Now, when I say talked about in the past, I'm referring towards my live stream episodes I had with Bitcoin Dada, with Nikolai, with the guys from Mashankura. And with that, I want to highlight the innovation which is going on in those countries by reason that Bitcoin truly is being used and seen over there as freedom money. Money which allows for escaping hyperinflation, which is currently occurring about everywhere in the world, especially in countries which are reliant on the US dollar. And Civkit, or Civilization Kit, if I may dare call it so, is a little bit of a response like that. It's a peer-to-peer electronic free market, in the sense that the idea behind this is that it's naturally, as described, censorship-resistant and permissionless as a global marketplace. With that, they want to say there is no leverage. There is no one there who can manipulate the markets. It's really peer-to-peer driven, from person to person. It is a real democratic free market. Let's indulge a little bit deeper here. I have to admit, the coloring here, I'm not very liking it by reason it's a little bit, well, painful to the eyes. I'm going to start highlighting it for those who are a bit colorblind in the hopes that it solves the issue. Anyway, overview. Civkit combines the Nostr architecture with Lightning Network, prioritizing privacy and security through escrowed traits, decentralized identity, moderation, a peer-to-peer messaging protocol, and know your peer oracles for adjudication. System aims to support all kinds of trading, including goods and services. Now, for those who aren't exactly technically up to date with what an oracle is, an oracle, I'm going to refer towards my Crypto Bull live stream where it concerns Chainlink. An oracle is nothing more than some kind of node, a nexus of information which allows for information off-chain to be communicated on-chain. This through a procedure which requires a certain amount of trust, which requires a certain amount of validation. That's what oracles are. So immediately we can see that know your peer oracles for adjudication, that those oracles might be a weak spot where it concerns Civkit. However, when we are talking about peer-to-peer marketplaces, we shall need a certain degree of trust in order for information to pass off-chain towards on-chain and vice versa. Anyway, Civkit node represents an experimental NIP01 Rust relay complemented by ongoing development of communication gateways for Bolt 8 noise transport and Bolt 4 Sphinx onion routing. Alongside this, there is a companion client binary designed specifically for development and testing purposes. So basically, you can run a node, and those are the requirements. Well, I'm not going to say requirements, but how it functions. That thing gets quite technical. I can read it and try to put it in very plain English terms, but at this point, it's probably better that I'm going to skip the very technical aspects here and just highlight the important, easy ones. Anyway, Orange or its Lightning node is constructed in LDK, which will offer built-in such as yada 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 yada. Facilitate his ambition. So basically, Orange, the most important part here is the main goal is to encourage the development of more Lightning-aware applications, the integration of custom scripts, escrows, yada yada yada. Basically, it means making use of the Lightning network for transactions. That's basically what Orange is. Let's head on over about what it is and can it increase self-sovereignty. An article from Bitfinex. You can tell here, brainchild of renowned Bitcoiners Nicholas Gregory, Ray Youssef, and Antoine Riard, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, presents a revolutionary peer-to-peer electronic market system. leveraging Nostr, Bitcoin-friendly decentralized social networking protocol, and Bitcoin's Lightning Network. Now, what do you guys need to know about Nostr? Nostr is quite frequently mentioned as some kind of direct competitor towards Twitter. Nostr is the Web3 version of Twitter. Let's put it that way. In reality, it goes much deeper and there's more subtleties to it, but for convenience sake, let's call it that way. More on Nostr later on. Civkit, a permissionless peer-to-peer marketplace via Nostr and Bitcoin. It's a revolutionary peer-to-peer electronic market system built on the Nostr protocol and the Bitcoin's Lightning Network. It aims to address the drawbacks of existing peer-to-peer marketplaces while leveraging the strengths of Nostr's reputation-based public keys, Bitcoin-like relay nodes, and public-private key cryptography. Civkit is positioned to be a permissionless and censorship-resistant marketplace, incentivizing participants to build and maintain a positive reputation similar to other peer-to-peer trading systems, thereby ensuring a reliable and trust-based trading environment. Civkit's novelty lies in its fusion of Bitcoin, Nostr, and Lightning Network. Now, in a certain sense, a small mistake, I guess here. Well, not really a small mistake, but do know Lightning Network is, in a sense, Bitcoin Lightning Network is a layer 2 built upon Bitcoin network. So it's not really a fusion. It is really, what's the right word again in English? Combination, let's just say, not really a fusion. It advocates for reduced centralized control, upholding cryptographically secured Bitcoin script contracts to provide escrow services and auto-execution upon satisfying predetermined conditions. The aim is to diminish upfront costs of entry, lower middleman costs through innovative technology, and decrease discrimination based on location, type of trades, or trade flows, or, as they put it on the main website here, for it to be censorship-resistant and permissionless. That's just a very, very long-winded way to say that. Well, the concept of decentralized market is not new, with precedents like OpenBazaar, Civkit's commitment to infrastructure as a service protocols, which provide incentives for nodes to enforce accurate, transparent operations, distinguish it from its predecessor. Its promise of fair, accessible, and transparent peer-to-peer marketplace could potentially redefine the landscape of global trade, meaning that it's going to be a more democratic marketplace than, say, for instance, Amazon. Now, why do I make this comparison? Perhaps it is nonsensical, but you need to know that a variety of marketplaces can be influenced, in the sense that certain companies will still need to comply with demands of a country's regime, of a country's government, and that certain products become illegal while in reality there is no harm having them. Now, I'm treading here on very thin ice because there will be people saying, oh yeah, drugs and porn. No, I'm really talking and thinking more of more innocent goods like kindersurprise, which is illegal in the US, but is fine anywhere else in the European Union. That's an example. And basically, what you can do with Civkit is, as it is a peer-to-peer permissionless and free marketplace, you can say, okay, I'm going to import those Kindersurprise to the US. And you can do it one-on-one. If a guy is interested, you can say, okay, I've got a reserve here, I'll send you by box. Entirely possible. But that's the gist of it. Anyway, Civkit is a significant stride forward in the realm of peer-to-peer markets, building upon the work laid down by predecessors but aiming to surpass the limitations. The white paper authored by Nicholas Gregory, Mercury Wallet, Ray Youssef, formerly of Paxful, and Antoine Riard, Bitcoin Core and Rust Lightning developer, highlights issues such as high barriers to entry, insufficient access to dispute mediation systems, and limited transparency of centralized reputation review systems that continue to plague global marketplaces today. Civkit node is an experimental master relay node enhanced by the ongoing development of communication gateways for Bolt 8, noise transport, and Bolt 4 Sphinx onion routing, enabling master services to be accessed over the Lightning Network. At its core, Civkit node facilitates a market board that enables a peer-to-peer market that we already know. It gets into quite a lot of details. Yeah, I'm going to try to keep it as light as possible. So basically, yeah, Bitfinex is a little bit tooting its own horn when it concerns the use of Civkit and on what it is built. Perhaps the most important part here is this. Is a work. Come on. There we go. Is a work in progress, promises exciting new possibilities, potential paradigm shift not only in the realm of cryptocurrencies, but in the broad landscape of global trade and commerce as well. By reason, you need to know, as a peer-to-peer free market system, not only, as I highlighted, is it censorship resistant and can people exchange peer-to-peer, we are really talking about global trade, enabling smaller sellers to reach out towards a global market. For example, a small farmer in Africa, for example, who is specialized in growing a certain vegetable, which isn't immediately available here, can be suppressed by local governments in order to export his products. But through this system, it is possible for him to reach out to other local farmers here so that they can exchange information, that they can exchange goods and services without any interference of centralized systems. Now, one important aspect needs to be highlighted here, and that's, well, it is revolutionary in the sense that it's great, but at the same time, you will be bypassing a certain amount of securities in place, which allows for consumer protection. Now, one of the reasons that they are working with trusted oracles has to do with verification, has to do with giving an increasing number of, or even a positive review on people who are genuinely sharing their products. So in a sense, you have peer-to-peer protection, and not from some centralized entity which can be leveraged to change laws, export laws, or even regulations to disadvantage certain groups of people. So in a sense, there's a negative aspect, but a greater positive aspect. But it also implies you need to be on your toes. And as it is being said, it is a work in progress. So things are still being built, closing certain loopholes, closing certain backdoors, etc. This is their little website. I should have logged in here. I'm not going to do it. There we go. So as you guys can see, this is the Civkit. Not all too big Twitter profile, but you know, not much is being shared. Anyway, let's head on over for the people who are just joining in and have difficulties following my trail. A little additional article. Past decade, peer-to-peer markets for buying and selling Bitcoin have had a rough go of it, as the masses have chosen the path of easier onboarding through KYC or Know Your Customer laden centralized exchanges. Since the average users opt for convenience and speed of transaction execution, peer-to-peer markets have had to fight for market share. This is the reason, by the way, why I chose this second article. We delve a little bit deeper on the subject of convenience for users. Anyway, in addition to the competition from centralized exchanges, peer-to-peer markets also have a tough time dealing with regulation, as mentioned before, which is evident in the fact that peer-to-peer markets, such as local bitcoins and Paxful, have faced numerous challenges and limitations, leading to their ultimate failure. Why? Do peer-to-peer markets find it hard to stay around? On the main reasons why peer-to-peer market fails is the need for a platform to provide security and trust. As mentioned before in the example with the local farmers, bypassing centralized regulations from countries, but allowing direct export towards, well, other farmers that they know, which in turn are being verified by trusted oracles, getting a credit score, etc., etc. Anyway, that's the issue of providing security and trust. Buyers and sellers are required to communicate and transact directly with each other with limited support of an intermediary, only engaging in disputes and managing the escrow. This often leads to cases of fraud, disputes, and scams, as I've mentioned before. For instance, local bitcoins experienced several hacking incidents that led to losing customer funds. Paxful, on the other hand, has faced several cases of fraudulent transactions, which affected the trust of its users. These issues ultimately led to the failure of these peer-to-peer markets. Regulatory burdens. Peer-to-peer market entities provide a platform for traders to create their bids and manage the escrow and are subject to regulation from the country they are incorporated in. I refer to my example of the Kinder Surprise in the US and here in the European Union. Anyway, adding more friction for traders. It also makes this platform less profitable as operating costs are higher due to compliance and legal requirements these businesses face. Another challenge that peer-to-peer markets face is the need for more liquidity. Since buyers and sellers must find each other and agree on a price, the process can take time and effort. It can be particularly problematic for users who want to buy or sell large amounts of Bitcoin quickly. Peer-to-peer markets often struggle to match the demand and supply of Bitcoin, leading to low liquidity and price volatility. Offshoring business operations to protocol functions. Instead of having a company be the single point of attack in a peer-to-peer market, what if there were dozens of markets on all different websites, front ends that are all plugged into one another and users could interact with any of them with no friction? Wouldn't that make P2P trading a lot easier? To achieve this, you would need to have a method of uncensorable and decentralized communication, which currently exists, called blockchain. A robust communications protocol is necessary to address these challenges and build a successful peer-to-peer market. Such a protocol should provide a secure and trusted environment for buyers and sellers to communicate and transact with each other. It should also provide features such as escrow services, dispute resolution, and identity verification to ensure that users can transact safely. It as previously mentioned, those oracles. This is where Nostr comes in. This is where they're going to highlight Nostr as their decentralized communications protocol. You can see here. Nostr is a decentralized communications protocol that enables secure and private communications between users and creates custom events with metadata required to build an order book and exchange. It is designed to be flexible and adaptable, making it suitable for a wide range of use cases, including peer-to-peer markets. In addition to providing security and trust, Nostr can also address the issue of liquidity. Nostr enables users to connect with each other in real time from anywhere in the world, allowing for faster and more efficient transactions. Now, what is Civkit? Now that we already have the communications protocol, it has Nostr. The only other issue is managing the escrows of funds. So Civkit aims to provide a new open source protocol that leverages the work done on Nostr and Lightning. The paper describes Civkit as a new market that enables global trade of goods, services, and foreign currency exchange. While Civkit is a general purpose trading and escrow protocol, the real focus would be on perfecting its use as a way of conducting trustless peer-to-peer Bitcoin trading. Currently, peer-to-peer Bitcoin trading or crypto trading. Let's just keep it on peer-to-peer Bitcoin trading at the moment because it is entirely built on the Bitcoin network. Paper was authored, that we already know. How could it work? A seller would list their item for sale via compatible Nostr client. This could be a product or service or trading Bitcoin peer-to-peer. The Nostr event is broadcast to compatible relays along with associated with a Bitcoin Lightning Network onion gateway such as an LN URL or Lightning address. Compatible clients list the offer to all of its Nostr followers. A willing buyer examines the listing and submits a hashed time lock contract via the Bitcoin Lightning Network that supports Civkit's trade escrow contract. The seller delivers the goods or services and requests funds from the escrow. If the buyer is happy that they've received the goods or the fiat money, the buyer releases escrowed Bitcoin funds. So basically, how does it work? Well, a little bit as if you can buy directly from people or your followers on Twitter. You tweet, I have, for example, 2 Bitcoin for sale, and I want to buy it for X amount of Ethereum. That's the tweet you send in, and the people who are interested in your Ethereum or whatever just post their addresses so that you can scan, transfer can be made, and automated your counter offer is being sent to them. That's basically how it works. Now, there's a few additional steps here in the sense that interested clients will need to go through an entire automated process in order for fair exchange, in order that buyer and seller get what they wanted. The buyer in this case gets its Bitcoin, seller gets its Ethereum, or vice versa. That's basically what is being written down here. So think of it as selling something on Twitter in a secure way, and that you've got immediate response by exchanging addresses. That's basically how Civkit is going to work. The point of Civkit aims to build on top of Noster's growing network effect along with reputation-based public keys. Since your public key is tied to everything you do on Noster, users would want to take greater care of what they associate with their public key. Adding Civkit's marketplace, participants have a financial incentive to build and maintain a positive reputation like eBay and other e-commerce sellers. Users have financial incentive to maintain a positive reputation, meaning don't do stupid shit. If you want to exchange fairly, do not use your address or Civkit at the same time to indulge in, well, not all too nice business. For example, if you are always trading Bitcoin, etc., and want to have a fair review about the goods and services you offer, well, make sure that you're not at the meantime tipping people off to shill bad cryptocurrency projects. Make sure that you are not being associated with bad people, with child traffickers, with whatever you can name really here, or even drug trafficking or drug sales, etc. I mean, everything to that address is being saved onto the blockchain and is verifiable. If you do business, you want to do business with a fair guy. And that's basically what is being said here. Maintain a legitimate and nice business. By reason your address is known and people can verify with you what the hell you are doing on the site. And people might not want to associate with a guy who's deep into drugs. I mean, it's common sense, really. Anyway. Civkit promises reduced centralized control by parties vested in censoring content, including products and services sold on the marketplace. Now, this is actually quite important. While I just made a case of make sure to not be busy with what is considered bad practices, drug trafficking, etc., drug sales, etc., it does not prevent you from doing so. You can still do so. By reason, there is no central authority which will ban your business. And on that account, that's a little bit the darker side of a free market. It means such goods and services can and still will be exchanged. However, it is up to you, the user, to do fair deals, to be a fair and right upstanding person. It is your own responsibility. No one is going to prevent you from doing bad stuff. It is really up to you. If you get caught, You must learn to face the consequences attached to it. That is what a free market is about. Nothing is going to prevent you, but there will be consequences, as people will see everything you do attached to your address. I mean, it's kind of logical. So for that, I really want to say centralized control is important currently, but if we are talking Bitcoin, that centralized control is away, and there's no one who will prevent you from doing stupid or bad stuff. But at the same time, you remain responsible. So keep that in mind when talking about free markets. Anyway, cryptographically secured Bitcoin script contracts will provide escrow services and automatically execute upon satisfying certain conditions. So basically, smart contracts. Civkit promises to reduce upfront costs of entry into the marketplace with the help of the Lightning Network. What is the Lightning Network? Well, quite frankly, that's something quite easy. It's this. Scalable instant Bitcoin blockchain transactions. People who do not know what Lightning Network is, I'll try to say it in a very, very simple way. Whereas we have Bitcoin, the network, as the main layer, we can state that Bitcoin is the hard, valuable asset. But Bitcoin itself has been described as peer-to-peer electronic cash system, meaning that it's a system developed to be used as currency. However, as congestion comes up and there's a high amount of fees, and naturally Bitcoin has a long waiting period to not going to say transact fees, but to confirm transactions, about 10 minutes or one block time, which is 10 minutes. People wanted a monetary layer, and that's where the Lightning Network comes in. It is built on top of Bitcoin, but it allows for faster transactions to be saved onto the blockchain. It is a layer 2. There is a variety of technical details behind it. I believe in previous videos I went deeper into it. But all that you need to know that is that the Lightning Network is the payment processing layer. It is built on top of Bitcoin. It does not make part of Bitcoin. It is built on top of it, but it involves Bitcoin. That's a very important sentence. Try to understand it. I'm not going to get deeper into it. It is what it is. One of the biggest advantages of Lightning Network is that it reduces transaction fees in totality and speeds up transactions. That's what a Lightning Network really does. And that is the reason that Civkit makes use of the Lightning Network. So what you need to know on how Civkit is being built is that it makes use of the framework of Nostr, which is something akin to Twitter, some kind of social media network, which allows you to reach out to a variety of people in order to offer your goods and services. In order to pay with your goods and services, they make use of the Lightning Network in order to reduce costs and speed up transactions. That's basically what the Civkit enables. So, marketplace use technology to diminish the costs of intermediaries. It has Lightning Network. Infrastructure as a service protocols will incentivize nodes to enforce accurate, transparent operations. That's the Nostr, the simple network protocol. Civkit promises to reduce discrimination based on location, types of trade, or trade flow. Civkit provides optionality. Yada 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 yada. It basically says free market, free for all. Who wants to be Civkit's first client? In the shutdown of Paxful, if you visit the website, you will be greeted with an announcement page encouraging users to move funds to non-custodial wallets or other platforms, such as a newly created known peer-to-peer Bitcoin marketplace that looks and feels exactly like Paxful. It is co-founded by Youssef Nessari and Nicolas Gregory. Nessari is also co-founder and director of Built with Bitcoin, a Paxful funded NPO. Node is still used, yada yada yada. most important aspect here. Do your own research. That's basically what we are doing now. Not much information is available, but I do hope with everything that I'm explaining here, it becomes more clear what Civkit is about, what the darker side and the light side of Civkit is. And it's important on how it is built and how revolutionary it can be. And actually how it came to be with all the experience Ray Youssef had with Paxful and the disadvantages and why the need of a peer-to-peer marketplace. This is Noster. I'm going to take a little look here for you guys. Naturally, I know about Noster, but those who are not in the know about what is being built on Bitcoin and what certain terms represent. So basically, this is Noster. And this is not a platform itself, this is a little explanation on what it is. Decentralized social network with a chance of working. Simple open protocol that enables truly censorship-resistant and global social network. Start protocol contributes. So basically, you have an introductory video. It is a bit, like I said, it gets quite technical, but in reality, see it as a Web3 Twitter. You've got your own account, your own profile with content you post. You've got your followers who follow you if you post decent content or interesting content. You can follow other people if they post interesting content or have things on offer which interest you. And instead, well, next to liking on the social network, you have your Nostr address, which allows you to send sats towards your followers or the people you follow. That's basically what Nostr does. And what Civkit does is adding a marketplace on top of it, which makes in itself use of the Lightning Network. So it is like I said earlier, it's like you go on Twitter and I say I have 5 Bitcoin for sale and I want well, the price in fiat money. How much is it? I'm going to do as if Bitcoin is already 40K. So I would like to have 200,000 US dollars. I can spread it on Nostr and say I've got 5 Bitcoin for sale. I would like to have 200,000 US dollars. In escrow, it's going to be uploaded, yada, yada, yada. Exchange Civkit enables me for the transaction to take place in an automated version. Not that I have to wait on confirmation from my other party who is going to buy my 5 Bitcoin. No, Civkit allows me, through use of smart contracts, to have it entirely automated. So it waits until the counterparty offers that 200,000 US dollars, it becomes in escrow, it is being sent straight towards me. And on that account, my 5 Bitcoin will be released towards the guy. The exchange is completed. That's how the marketplace goes. Whereas if I were to use Nostr purely without the Civkit, well, it would become a matter of trust. Become a matter of the guy sent me 200,000 and he trusts that I sent him the 5 Bitcoin. That's the plain deal. With Civkit, there's an automated function, a decentralized free market, and a decentralized open source. No, I'm effing up here. Sorry, no. Civkit allows me for the exchange to take place through trusted oracles, through verifications, through smart contracts. It becomes automated, and that I no longer require trust on the guy to send me the goods in order for me to send it, or vice versa. It makes use of escrows, and it's really smart contract based. It says input. If it's adds up, execution. That's basically it. Whereas with Nostr, you still had personal responsibility. Now with that, I'm going to stop sharing my screen here. I'm going to say that was the breakdown of Civkit. Now, I know most of my live streams take about an hour or so. I still have 20 minutes. I could cover a variety of crypto Bitcoin orientated news items, but to be quite fair, I forgot to prepare them, as you guys could see on the screen. So with that, I'm going to say I'm going to finalize this live stream. If you guys have questions, remarks, or if you caught me lacking and saw me make a few mistakes, please leave a comment, and in all other cases, leave a comment, share, subscribe. You guys know the drill. You know where to find me on social media. With that, I'm going to say thank you guys for watching, and until next time, bye.